With abortion expected to be a key issue in next year's presidential election, an early test will come Tuesday when voters in Ohio will decide whether to guarantee the right to abortion in the state constitution. Here's Stephanie Gosk.
However, abortion may be prohibited after...
92-year-old Joan Lawrence has always been in favor of abortion rights.
I think it's up to the individual, not the government, to decide what to do about a pregnancy.
She's also a lifelong Republican who served in the Ohio legislature.
It's not a partisan issue. It really isn't. And Republicans are making it trying to make it a partisan issue.
Other Republican women from the reliably red Columbus suburbs also feel that way. In August, they voted against a Republican effort to make changing the state constitution harder. Many viewed that special election as an attempt to undermine the vote next Tuesday, when Ohio will decide whether to guarantee access to abortion in the state constitution.
I thought it was kind of sneaky that it was being placed last minute on a special election.
Lisa Knapp, a registered Republican, believes in low taxes and small government. She also says women's bodies are their own business.
So that's a big Republican ideal, is that the government stays out of your business. But in this particular issue, they are getting in your business.
Do you think that the abortion issue has been good politically for the Republican Party?
Oh, it's been horrible.
It is far from certain how next week's abortion vote in Ohio will go. But either way, some Republicans believe the party is focused on the wrong issue.
I feel like they're missing a lot of the big ones, a lot of the struggles that people have in day-to-day life. I mean, inflation is really bad. Food prices.
Erica, a mom of 4 young boys, is opposed to abortion, but voted against the Republican measure last summer, which she felt was an overreach.
Good job, bud.
She's frustrated with her party.
I don't care about the party lines. I care about truth and honesty and following my principles.
Do you feel like the Republican Party right now is sort of at odds with itself?
Definitely, definitely.
I just feel like
Lisa has similar concerns about the future of the party heading into the 2024 presidential election.
Do you think abortion is an issue that will direct who you choose in the primaries?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If someone was like, hey, I want to impose a 6-week ban, I would never vote for that person. I think the abortion issue is just a lot bigger than most people have realized it is, for Republicans.
On Tuesday, the state goes to the polls. The message it sends will be felt nationwide. Stephanie Gosk, NBC News, Delaware County, Ohio.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.